Welcome to the CUNA News Weekly Wrap-Up for August 7th through 11th. This week, we'll get to know the new leaders at 4 credit union leagues, catch up with Matt McCombs, CEO of Vibrant Credit Union in Moline, Illinois, learn how to create a culture where employees love to come to work, and watch a video from the African American Credit Union Coalition's 25th Annual Conference. We'll also check out the latest episode of the CUNA News Podcast, as CUNA Senior Editor Ron Jose speaks with incoming league presidents from the Minnesota Credit Union Network, the Alaska Credit Union League, the Credit Union Association of New Mexico, and Montana's credit unions. Martin Carter, the president and CEO of the $202 million Asset Lansing, Michigan-based credit union, says he was turning down 1 out of every 2 loan applications and a similar number of checking accounts. Because the credit union wanted to improve its performance, as well as that of its members, Carter says it was critical that its financial wellness truly had positive outcomes. So Carter launched Empower Me, a program in which the credit union's members work with certified financial coaches to improve their credit scores. The program has improved outcomes for both Astera and members. Right now, in addition to the expected outcomes, we're moving people into home loans that I never thought possible before, Carter says. It's an extension of the credit union philosophy. Advocacy and increasing members' access to credit union services, supported by collaboration and innovation, are top priorities among new league presidents. Whether it's directly through advocacy or through collaboration and partnerships, our role is to advocate for our members, says Mara Humphrey, President CEO at the Minnesota Credit Union Network. Humphrey is among 4 new league presidents who shares their thoughts as they ease into their new respective roles. This article is a preview of this week's CUNA News Podcast episode. Matt McCombs believes in getting ideas out in the open. Once they are, the president and CEO at Vibrant Credit Union in Moline, Illinois, isn't afraid of putting them into action. Credit Union Magazine recently caught up with McCombs to discuss some of the ideas he implemented since taking over as CEO at the $1 billion asset credit union 12 years ago. In a question and answer segment, McCombs shares his credit union background, why credit unions must focus on longevity, the importance of a familial workplace culture, and more. In a video interview recorded at the African American Credit Union Coalition's 25th Annual Conference, Beverly Anderson, President and CEO at $29 billion asset BECU in Tukwila, Washington, shares her thoughts on participating on the conference's legacy panel. As Anderson shares, the support she received from her family and friends throughout her career created the sense of possibilities that drive her personal philosophy as a leader. She also discusses the important role AACUC plays in connecting important voices throughout the credit union movement.
I talked about the fact that my legacy foundation really comes from my family and childhood experiences, particularly my mom and dad, my educational journey, and lessons through my career. And all of those things gave me a sense of confidence, support, love, a sense of possibilities and potential. And those are the things that I'm pulling into the work that I do today as the CEO of BECU.
In this week's episode of the CUNA News Podcast, incoming league presidents Tim Sullivan of the Alaska Credit Union League, Malia Heimbuck of the Credit Union Association of New Mexico, Mara Humphrey of the Minnesota Credit Union Network, and Gary Singleton of the Montana's credit unions shared their excitement in leading their respective organizations to new heights.
Really what a league president's role is, what a league's role is to be advocates for their credit unions in their state. And that is really something that we do, whether it's directly through advocacy or helping through collaboration, helping through partnerships. That is our role, is to be strong advocates for our members.
Now over to Alex McVeigh, CUNA Senior Editor of Public Affairs Communications, for a look at what's happening in Washington, D.C.
CUNA President CEO Jim Nussle and NAFCU President CEO Dan Berger addressed NAFCU staff this week to discuss the proposed merger. Both also appeared on stage together at the Defense Credit Union Council's 60th Annual Convention. The 2 leaders shared their vision for America's credit unions and urged stakeholders to share their feedback throughout the process. The organizations released details of the proposed transition board, which will be led by current NAFCU Vice Chair and Chartway Federal Credit Union President and CEO Brian Schools. CUNA and NAFCU also worked together on several advocacy efforts this week. This includes a joint statement thanking the CDFI Funds Advisory Board for sharing credit union recommendations and calling on the CFPB to delay implementation of its Section 1071 rule. Finally, Jim Nussle appeared on the latest NAFCU Credit Union Policy podcast to discuss the merger and pressing advocacy issues.
Thanks, Alex. Our credit union of the week is Our Credit Union in Royal Oak, Michigan. The $359 million asset cooperative has served individuals, families, and businesses within its community since 1959. The credit union was originally chartered to serve the financial needs of the St. Denis Parish community. It operated as St. Denis Parish Credit Union until June 1984, when a charter change allowed it to open its field of membership to the entire Royal Oak community. Learn more at www.ourcuonline.org. Send your credit union's information to yang@cuna.coop if you want to be included in a future episode. In the coming weeks, we'll talk about CEO coaching, get an economic update, learn how to identify text messaging scams, and gain insights on building membership. That's it for this week's wrap-up. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend. To stay up to date on these stories and more, subscribe to Credit Union Magazine, visit news.cuna.org, and listen to the CUNA News podcast at news.cuna.org/podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the description for links to everything discussed in this video.